Hello, in this new tutorial we're going to visualize now the chest lead. Now in the chest lead we need to know that we have 6 chest leads, and in those 6 chest leads they are generally called either the V or the C's. So you have what is called the chest lead 1, that is C1, you have C2, C3, C4, C5, and then C6. Now let's say that you have the sternum with the ribs as such here, which moves up like this, as such. Now you need to know that what the C1 is going to be located at the 4th intercostal space, right sternal border. So it's going to be located at the 4th intercostal space, right sternal border. Is it clear? That is the C1, 4th intercostal space, right sternal border. Now C2 is going to be located still at the 4th intercostal space, but now on the left sternal border. Still 4th intercostal space, but now on the left sternal border. Now C3 is going to be located between C02 and C4. Is it clear? Now the next point is now the C4. C4 is going to be located at the 5th intercostal space, mid-clavicular line. Is it clear? C4 is going to be located at 5th intercostal space, mid-clavicular line. Now you need to know that C3, as we said, you just draw a horizontal line from C3 and C4 and then you place it in between. So you have in between C2 and C3 is going to and C4 is C3. Now the next thing is C5. C5 is still located at the 5th intercostal space, but instead on the anterior axillary line. So when somebody raises up the hands, we need to know that we have the axillary line that can be drawn from the anterior aspect of the axilla. Is it clear? Downward, that is the anterior axillary line. So at 5th intercostal space or the inferior mammary line, the inferior mammary line is the line that is directly underneath the breast. Is it clear? So 5th intercostal space or the inferior mammary line, and the anterior and the last one, which is the anterior axillary line, is going to be location for C5, and the lastly is C6. C6 is still the inferior mammary line plus the mid axillary line. So at the middle of the axilla is where we are placing. Now we need to know that what this leads is the position of the different electrodes. And now I initially said that these leads are unipolar leads, meaning that what the electrodes are going to be only a single electrode with their pole which are positive. Is it clear? So their pole is positive. But now we need to know that what in physics this is impossible. Every time that you have a positive, you must have a potential that is comparatively negative to it. Is it clear? That's why for the chest leads there is a reference point, and generally the chest leads reference point is the right lower limb, is the right leg or the right foot. Is it clear? So you have a lead which shows the zero potential. Is it clear? That lead is a zero potential, and that zero potential is the reference point of all these unipolar limb leads. Is it clear? So that's why you visualize an ECG. For the ECG leads, you're going to have one electrode that is going to be placed on the right arm. There's going to be one electrode that is going to be placed in the left arm. There's going to be one electrode that is going to be placed in the left foot, and there's another electrode that is going to be placed in the right foot. The electrode that is going to be placed on the right foot is the reference potential, and that reference potential is the reference point, and that reference point is the potential. Is it clear for the different unipolar limb leads? Now we need to know that what for these chest leads we have to point out the fact that the chest leads have a horizontal view. As we said, to visualize the three-dimensional aspect of the heart, you must visualize the vertical and the horizontal view. The vertical view or was given by the different limblets, that is the unipolar, that is the augmented limblets, and the bipolar limblets. Is it clear? So that is given by the vertical, that's giving the vertical view. Now the cross-sectional view or the horizontal view is shown now by the chest slits, which are the V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and V6, or they can also be called the C's. Now in this case, we need to know that here you can have your heart in this direction. Is it clear? When you have the heart in this direction, visualizing that you have now a horizontal plane that can be cut through the heart. Is it clear? And that is, here is the center point of the heart. Now V1 was located here. That's why V1 is going to visualize the heart in this direction. So this is going to be V1. Is it clear? It's going to visualize the heart moving in this direction like this on a horizontal plane. V2 is going to visualize the heart moving in this direction on the horizontal plane. V3 is going to visualize the heart moving in this direction on the horizontal plane as such. Similarly, that is V4, V5, V6 is going to also move like this, and then lastly, so those are the different visualization of the heart on the horizontal plane. So they have different angles at which they visualize the heart on the horizontal plane. Is it clear? That is why they are going to have different ECG graphical representation of those different leads on the ECG paper. Is it clear? Now, the next point of our tutorial today are going to be the different locations of the ECG based on the limb leads. Is it clear? Now, we need to know that what locations of the ECG, as I've said initially, we have what is called a three-dimensional view of the heart. Is it clear? So the ECG help you to visualize the heart in 3 dimensions, and 3 dimension comprises of two dimension, and the first 2 dimension is going to be the vertical view, and the next 2 dimension is going to be the horizontal view, or that is a cross-sectional view. Is it clear? Now you need to know that generally there is a mnemonics, a simple mnemonics created by the SchrDbb in order for you to know the different location that is going to be visualized by different leads of the electrocardiogram. Is it clear? Now for the mnemonics, we have just a mnemonics of Li as such. We have Li no, Li sal. That is the mnemonics. Let me write it again. The mnemonics is Li, you have to cram it, the Li, no, in bracket, Li, ni, lo, Li, you bring the sal. Generally that's that. Now, how do you cram these mnemonics? This first part here corresponds to the first 3 leads on the vertical aspect of the ECG graphical representation. This second part represents the next 3 leads on the next next part. This third part are the next 3 leads. These are the next 3 leads. And you have to know that the word L corresponds to lateral, the word I corresponds to inferior, the word no corresponds to no representation of the heart. The word S corresponds to septal. The word A corresponds to anterior. Is it clear? So those are the different words that you have to cram. You have to cram these different words in order for you to know the 3-dimensional visualization of the heart. Now, this is how to cram it. You need to know that on the ECG paper, generally you are going to have an ECG paper that is going to be as such. Is it clear? On your ECG paper, you are going to have the limb lead 1 is going to have its graphical representation here. Limb lead 2 is going to have this graphical representation here. Limb lead 3 is going to have the graphical representation here. And lastly, down here, you're going to have the rhythm strip. Is it clear? You're not going to use the rhythm strip for now. Is it clear? You're just going to take it for the next part of the tutorial. Now, the next one is going to be your AVR. AVR is going to be located here. The AVL is going to be located here, and the AVF is going to be located here. So you're going to have different representation. Now, you have the next one. The V1 is going to be located here. V2, V3 is going to be located here. You have V4, V5, and V6. Is it clear? Now you need to know that Lily cell, it says that you have L-I-I. Is it clear? Here is no in bracket. Is it clear? This is L-I. Here is S-S-A. And then here is A-A-L-L. Meaning that what? At the limb lead word help to visualize more of the lateral aspect of the heart. Limb lead 2 help to visualize more of the inferior aspect of the heart. Limb lead 3 help to visualize more of the inferior aspect of the heart. Limb lead AVR visualizes no aspect of the heart. What the limb lead AVR helps you to know is just to know if the electrodes were placed well. Is it clear? Generally, we have seen in the first part of our tutorial that we have to know that the P wave indeed with AVR has to be negative. Is it clear? And the R complex has to be more predominantly negative in the AVR. Are you understanding the R complex? So in a case where you have a patient that has a positive P waves on the limb with AVR and you have a positive R wave on limb with AVR, it implies that there was somebody they misplaced the position of the leads. Is it clear? And you have to rearrange it. Now, limb lead AVL corresponds to lateral aspect of the heart. Limb lead AVF corresponds to the inferior aspect of the heart. V1 septal aspect of the heart. V2 septal aspect of the heart. V3 corresponds to anterior aspect of the heart. V4 corresponds to anterior aspect of the heart. V5 corresponds to lateral aspect of the heart. And lastly, V6 corresponds to lateral aspect of the heart. So this is how you can visualize the heart in a 3 dimension with respect to different leads. So now we are going to move to the next aspect, which is going to be the lateral aspect on the physiologic interpretation of the ECG. Thank you.